Hey. Welcome back to another live stream, guys. It is Tuesday, September 30th. What is up? What's happening? Hope everybody's doing well and having a great day. Let me turn this volume down just a little bit. There we go. Looks a little loud over there on the audio meter. How's everybody doing today? Thanks for stopping by. If you got notified, if you're watching this later, welcome to the live stream. Hopefully you guys are getting notified. Can't count on that though these days. Who's the first one in the chat? Hopefully the moderator stops in today. The moderator's been very busy since early this morning. We have a new addition to the family. Yes, we do. Hey, Jonathan, what's up? Max and Belinda, what's going on, guys? What's up, Joe? Instituo Permafloresta, what's up, guys? Did you all get notified? Good. Good afternoon. Good evening, wherever it is you call home on planet Earth. What you're looking at here on the screen, this is called the Ovation Prime. This is what shows us how much solar activity is interacting with the Earth's poles, not only the North Pole, but the South Pole as well. This just happens to be the North Pole, and yes, we have had some geomagnetic storm activity in the last 24, even 36 hours. However, it's not because of an overactive sun. The sun is really quiet. And we had a little debate yesterday on how to interpret whether or not the sun is active or quiet. My interpretation of the sun being active is much different than maybe somebody else's. And I'll explain why. I've been doing this for a long time, guys, even taught a few classes on this years ago. So it's not my first rodeo, probably won't be my last. It's something I like to do. Have enjoyed doing this for many years. So we'll talk about why I think the sun's actually very quiet, even though we're in the middle of a geomagnetic storm, right? How does that equate? Make that make sense. Yes, we are in the middle of a geomagnetic storm. I believe it was a G3. Let's look. Coming over here to the KP index, there you go. You can see the tall or orange graph and yellow and light orange. That is an indication of a G2, G3, even a G1 geomagnetic storm. But again, it's not because of sunspots or coronal holes or solar flares. I know there was a debate on solar flares yesterday. I got into a small debate, and that's good. It's good to debate and sort things out. You know what I mean? Yes, there were a series of solar flares. Check this out. But guys, just because there's solar flares, that doesn't mean a thing if there's no CMEs, right? We had 2 solar flares today, 2 small M-class solar flares and a super small one just a little bit after midnight. Again, they're pointless. It's like saying, you know what? We had a thunderstorm roll through here the other day, and I'm using this facetiously, comparatively speaking. We had a thunderstorm roll through here the other day, but we didn't get any rain, we didn't get any wind, and we didn't get any lightning. But we had a thunderstorm. Really? Yeah. You didn't hear about it? No, didn't know a thing about it. Same rules apply here. Just because you have a solar flare, that doesn't mean a thing. Doesn't mean a thing. So these solar flares did not cause the radio blackout like we see sometimes up in the polar regions. I'll even show you guys the ionosphere D regions. What happens is, like you're seeing right here, there's a classic example of the D region, okay? It's showing you, hey, I'm here. That's the Ovation Prime. Right now it is primed, okay? And there are auroras. I've got some beautiful pictures to share with you guys. First photos I've ever received from Iceland, yes. And the young lady that shared them with me, Iris, she said she'd never seen auroras so bright. But this is the same location over here, just looking at it from a different angle, over here at the ionosphere D region. There would be ripples going through the ionosphere at the polar regions, at not only the north, but the south poles. Those ripples are what cause radio blackouts, interference. And yes, sometimes they can affect aircraft. Yes, they can affect ham radio operators at the 60, 65, even 70 degree and higher latitudes. But it's because of ripples going through the ionosphere from an interaction of a CME. There haven't been any CMEs, guys. You want to know the truth? You want to know what this really is? You want to know what's going on with the sun and why we're seeing this activity? It's because of the equinox. We just entered fall up here in the northern hemisphere, and it's a phenomenon that's got to do with right angles and the angle of the sun. We talk about right angles and planetary position, right? Well, this is a prime example, okay? This is a classic example. When I talk about planetary alignments, and I've talked about these for years. Again, this isn't our first time doing this. It's the right angles of these planets that when they're in alignment, sometimes, not always, it's not a guaranteed fact, okay? Whenever these things are in this alignment, there's going to be earthquakes, there's going to be volcano eruptions, but the chances do increase. It's that right angle, and that's what's happening right now with the Earth. It's the right angle of the Earth in conjunction with the position of the sun and the Earth. They're connected magnetically, and it's causing a tilt in the IMF. You guys know what the IMF is? It's the interplanetary magnetic field. And let's take a look at it right here. It's probably south. Is it south? There it is. The IMF, the interplanetary magnetic field, is south. Anytime that tilts south, it opens up the magnetic shields wide open. So the solar wind that's there 24/7 is going to come in freely. There's not going to be anything to slow it down whenever the IMF tilts south. Right now, it's tilting south by a degree of 10 BZ. So yeah, you're going to have a geomagnetic storm. Has nothing to do with sunspots, has nothing to do with solar flares, and definitely has nothing to do with CMEs because we haven't seen any. So when it comes to the sun and those type of things, I can, yesterday people were basically talking down to me because of my analysis of the sun. And I really didn't appreciate it. I didn't appreciate it at all. When it comes to the sun and what this thing is doing, rest assured I know what I'm talking about. I've been doing this a long, long time. So I don't care what you may think of me, but if you guys are looking for the doom and gloom and you're wanting me to come over here and lie to you, I'm not going to do it. I'm going to tell you the truth. Whether you like it or not, I don't care. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that, oh, this is a huge deal, waving a big red flag. It's like, that's nothing, guys. You want to see a solar storm? Here you go. Here's a solar storm. This is a man's solar storm right here, not some, this is preschool. This is just baby stuff over here. This is a large CME with a large solar flare first that propels the CME towards the Earth, that instigated a proton storm and, of course, a geomagnetic storm. Here you go. You want to see solar activity? Bingo, that is solar activity. That's what I'm used to. So there's a large solar flare, Earth-directed, full halo, full-on, heavy-duty proton storm. You talk about radio interference, all right there, full force. Ionosphere D region was overloaded with energy. That was a big deal. That was a big solar flare. That's solar activity, guys. So this stuff about, the sun's throwing a fit, if you want to believe that, that is your prerogative, okay? That is totally your prerogative. If you want to believe that the sun is throwing a fit right now, when it's totally not, your prerogative. I'm going to tell you the real truth. I can sit here and tell you, hey, the sun just shed a layer and it's coming towards the Earth, but that would be not true. The real deal, it's called the Russell-McPherson effect is what's going on. And it happens during the equinox. The sun and the Earth are lined up just right to where they connect magnetically in a very unique way. Happens maybe twice a year. Maybe it doesn't happen. It just depends. And when it does, it opens up the Earth's magnetic shield and the plasma penetrates, causes geomagnetic storms. That's all. It has nothing to do with what the sun is not doing, because the sun isn't doing anything at all. But I will say this. We're going to go back to Wyoming too. I want to analyze this blue ring that was in the sky just a little bit closer, so don't go anywhere. And the planetary alignments that we're in, we're going to talk about that. But I wanted to show you guys some of the side effects of a real, like the Ovation Prime. You can see the Ovation Prime. This is the North Pole. This is where the auroras typically originate from. You can see it's lit up pretty good, right? Well, here's some pictures that I received, and I received several I know I got one from Ireland too. It's around here somewhere. But I got photos from Iceland and obviously Canada. Canada was completely consumed with auroras last night. Check it out. Iceland, my first photos from Iceland. Iris. Last night around 10:50 her time, she said these were unusually bright. Let me pause it right here. And this particular style of, of aurora, she'd never seen this before. She's lived in Iceland her whole life. There was just one patch. That tells you how weird and unusual this is. That wasn't created by a CME interacting with the Earth. It tells you right there that the source was instigated, influenced by something else. The source is always the sun, right? You know, whether it's a CME or the IMF tilts south. Well, in this case, the IMF tilted south. These photos here, obviously very beautiful, out of Hudson Bay, Canada, sent in by T.H. Lyon. Look at those. Stunning, right? And you would think, wow, we must have had a huge solar flare. No, we didn't. Karina Watson out of Lac La Biche, Alberta. Here you go. Some more beautiful, beautiful skies last night. So yes, they did put on a show, but the sun overall is really quiet. It's super quiet. I stand behind it. I know what I'm talking about. I've been doing this for a long time. Whether you agree with me or not, I don't care. Cold Lake, Alberta, Ian, 9/29 of 2025. There you go. Now, these didn't come all the way down into the states, maybe Minnesota, Montana, Washington, Maine, I think saw some. But overall, they didn't dip way low because this was not a high-speed stream of solar wind that's associated with CME. So there you have it. Auroras from the Russell-McPherson effect. Yes, sir. Okay, here we go. The planetary alignment. There was a quake today, and more than likely, it was associated with what's going on above us in the solar system. Mercury, which is kind of making its way around now, but Earth, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, and Jupiter are all primarily in the same location. So again, you know, that right angle, that momentum can create earthquakes. And we saw a big earthquake today. There was started out as a 7.0 in the middle of literally millions of people amongst these small islands down here in the Philippines. And then people felt this earthquake. It was an initial 7.0, downgraded to a 6.9, but it was close to Cebu City, which is nearly 1 million people. And this was shallow. This thing was only like 6.2 miles deep. It did not create a tsunami, but a lot of people felt the earthquake down in the middle of all the islands of the Philippines. Quick update on our friend Atlas that's getting a lot of attention these days. Some of it not so accurate. You know, again, we've been talking about Atlas over here for 2 months, you know. Harvard scientists have been talking about it for 2 months, but now it's really making the rounds. And guys, there it is right there. And I won't even say where it's going to go. If you want to believe the comet's going somewhere else other than where it's really going, more power to you. But right now, the comet's in the vicinity of Mars. In fact, it's right above Mars, on top of Mars. If you were on Mars and looked straight up, you'd see that baby. It doesn't have a tail at the time being. I still don't know why it doesn't have a tail, but it does have a coma. I did an update a couple of days ago on Comet Atlas if you want to check that out. What else have I got for you guys? Oh, the quake, the Fujiwara. Yeah, it's just basically it's a nothing burger. There were 2 potential tropical storms. One supposedly a Category 5. That would be what you're seeing here is a map of the real-time map of the storms off the southeastern United States. This is Humberto, or what's left of Humberto, and this is Imelda. And you can see Humberto, or a frontal system that's moving across the central United States, that's pushing these away from the coastline. It's creating the Fujiwara effect. And it's basically when one bigger hurricane pulls in another. And that's kind of what's going on here. But I want to show you guys something that's kind of interesting. We're going to go to, where are we going to go? Oh, here we go. We're going to go to marine traffic. Yeah, marine traffic. Okay, here we go. Marine traffic. And usually you can see a very obvious circle where there's a large hurricane out in the ocean, because ships will avoid that area for obvious reasons. You know, if you have especially a Category 4, Category 5, and I believe this one at one time was a Category 5, so they say, temporarily. From what I understand, it's still a Category 4. And that would have winds in excess of 130, 140 mile an hour. But there's still a lot of ships out here. This is a global map of all the shipping activity that's going on all around the world right now. These are all the ships in the world. Look at them. Talk about trade routes galore, right? But there's still a lot of ship activity right here where these storms are at. There really shouldn't be any ships there at all. They should have all cleared out. But nevertheless, there's still some ships there. I don't know if they are immune to these big storms, but nevertheless, there they are right there sitting next to Mr. Humberto. That again, they're going to pull away from the East Coast. They're going to go up into the North Atlantic and not do anything but stir up a little bit of wave activity in the Carolinas, North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia. Not from Humberto, from Imelda, but that won't last long. By this evening, it should be pulling away from the coast rather quickly. But that's the two storms off the southeastern coast of the United States. Okay. Want to get through everything. The planetary alignment, the earthquake was more than likely caused by the planetary alignment. We'll probably see more. What else we got? Oh yeah, that's the Fujiwara. That's what I was talking about earlier. No need to talk about that again. Hold on, while I'm looking for this, let me find my video. How's everybody doing today? How many we got over here today? Usually these don't get recommended. 900. Let's go. Make sure you hit the like button, guys. If you like it, if not, no big deal. It just sends it out there a little bit further. What's going on? Rick, Andrea, Maloney, Stephanie, Jan, just trying to say hi to a few of you guys. And I'd also like to thank Miss Debbie, if you're in the house from Alabama. I did get these, Miss Debbie. So if you happen to see this live stream now, or if you see it later on, the next day or two, thank you so much for your incredible artwork. You're very, very talented. I'm using this right now. I've got a bottle of water over here on my desk, and these are coasters that Miss Debbie shared with me. And Debbie, I don't check that box, but maybe once a month. And that's why I didn't get to them right after you sent them. But thanks again. She sent me these really cool coasters with Mr. MBB 333 on it. Got her initials on the back. I'm super proud of these. Thank you so much. That was very kind and very, very thoughtful of you. You didn't have to do that, but you're very talented. Thank you so much. And right there it goes. It's on my desk. And the other ones are right up there. We're using them. Okay, I wanted to revisit, guys, the blue ring in Wyoming. This is kind of weird. And I'm going to be totally honest with you. These are more real solar storms, not this candy-ass stuff that we're dealing with right now. Okay, where in the world? Okay, here it is. Okay. So here's the question I asked. This video was sent in by Leah, okay? The video was taken by Howard right over here in a very small community in Wyoming, 75 miles south and east of Yellowstone. Population right here, look, 327 people. Very, very small town, about as small as these sunspots that we're dealing with. In fact, this town is bigger than some of these sunspots. But right there's Yellowstone over there to the northwest. Here's where the video was taken. Taken by Howard, sent in by Leah. Now, the very first question I asked Leah was this, and I'm going to be totally honest with you. I always am. I asked her, I said, why did he stop recording? You know what I mean? I guess he just went to his front door, opened up the front door and just happened to see it, got his phone, or I think he had to go back and get his phone because he wasn't anticipating seeing anything in the sky. And usually that's the case. When people run across these things, they're not looking for them. I can tell you one thing, I've never looked. And usually when I have seen things just randomly, unexpectedly, I didn't even have my phone ready. And that was the same case here. But I asked, why did he stop? This was pretty interesting. And it was just simply because he wasn't even going outside. He wasn't dressed to go outside. He just happened to open the front door and see this activity. There was some sort of a strange blue ring, 75 miles southeast of Yellowstone supervolcano or the caldera. There was a white object, as you can see right there, following it. He had never seen anything like this before. Again, it's a very, very small community, bigger than the sunspots we're dealing with. I mean, these sunspots are small. This community is only 327 people. Something was hovering out in this community, probably not expecting to be seen. And if it weren't for Howard taking this video, we probably wouldn't have known this was even out there. What in the world was this thing? He didn't think it was a drone. He didn't think it was obviously an airplane or a helicopter. What is going on in central Wyoming? I don't know, guys. I get all kinds of weird stuff. And the reason that I share these things with you is because people share them with me. Otherwise, we would be talking about the sun. I'm not talking about current events because I do not watch the news. So I do keep up with certain things that are important. I feel are important, but I don't talk about them on here. It's just not worth it. So yeah, the reason I analyze video footage of mysterious things in the sky is because people are seeing mysterious things in the sky all the time. I'm not asking for this stuff. People share it with me because they're just curious, you know, what are we looking at here? It's not that I have all the answers, because I don't. I'm an image analyst. Yeah, I can go in tight on this thing and I can dig deep into my bag of tools and maybe pull forward some features that I've learned to do over the years. But we can't always identify exactly what the situation is trying to tell us here. And again, that's the same situation here. It looks like this thing is spinning, but again, it's difficult to tell. And it's even more difficult when you're dealing with something that has a black infinite background like you're seeing here. It's the black sky, and then you have a very bright light, you know, in the foreground, and it creates a bit of noise, a bit of you know, interference. They can be tricky to work with. But he was very surprised by this, whatever it was. Here it is in a different format. I took away the color, and the reason I took away the color, I was looking for any other possible features. You can see it's at about a 35 degree angle in the sky. It was moving. Howard, he just like, what in the world is going on here? So there it is again. Some people asked me if I could revisit that because they thought it was kind of cool, and I agree. It was kind of cool, and the very fact that it was being followed by something, or if it was part of it by the white object there. Maybe they were obviously together because they were moving together. You know what I mean? So I don't know, guys. There it is, whatever it may be, some sort of a mysterious blue ring southeast of the supervolcano caldera, spotted by Howard in a very small community in Wyoming, a whopping 327 people. Now that's what you call a small town, right? Small as these sunspots that we've been dealing with. Right on. All right, what else we got? The Ovation Prime. Yeah, the equinox storm. That's kind of what the storm is, the equinox storm. And speaking of storms, this is what we dealt with the other day. I mean, the rain came down out here in buckets. Looked like Niagara Falls for a couple of hours. Holy cow. Hey, what's up, Graham? Thanks for the super chat. Testing a new plasma pulse engine. Good one. I like that, Graham. Like your way of thinking. You can see, you can tell by looking at this water, we hadn't had a good soaking rain. This storm reminded me of a tropical storm. And not only did we have one, we had several. I lost count. But there were a series of repetitive, super strong thunderstorms that delivered a lot of rain. I would say we got between 2 and 4 inches of rain in our area. And this was one of those times. And you can see it's washing the dust from the beautiful dust storms. I can't stand dust storms, man. I'm telling you, I'd rather deal with a foot of snow than that dust storm any day. And I've had both, and I'll take the foot of snow. But notice the dirty water coming off the roof of the house. I love it. Cleaned the house. That was one good thing. But I'm telling you, we had water standing all over the place. We had some very, very ambitious rains the other day out here in central Arizona. And it wasn't just here. It was throughout most of the southern, central, and northern parts of Arizona. And you know, they weren't really like monsoon. They were just like a series of marching storms that just kept forming and forming all day long. It was quite the event. We got a lot of rain. We really did. Some places got, I think, over 3 or 4 inches of rain. I know we probably got at least 2, which was very welcome. Man, I love it when it rains out here. You bet. We all love the rain because we don't see it very often, you know? Bring it on. What's going on, guys? Thank you, Graham, for the super chat. I know, War Drum, I can't stand those dust storms. Like you saw the water rinsing off the roof, you know, everybody's house was like that. You know, it just makes everything filthy. Ugh. Give me 12 foot of snow. Give me 12 inches of snow. I can deal with that. I've done it. No problem. Shout out from Yakima. What's up, Jorge and Wakima? Or is it George? I'm sorry. I know that can be pronounced both ways. Have been watching some comets in my telescope. Nice. That's cool. There's a lot to watch, and there's going to be even more to watch coming up next month in October, around the 20th, 20. You should be able to see Comet Swan, and you might be able to see Comet Lemon. As far as Comet Atlas goes, I'll let you guys decide on that. I know there's a lot of good information, not so good, actually bad information going around about Atlas. So you guys are free to believe what you want. I told you the truth about Atlas. House full, yard, a spoonful. Oh yeah, Charles. Oh, you went around Yuma, huh? Man, we got boatloads of rain up here for 2 days. I mean, I'd seen it like that before, but it's probably been over 10 years. Yeah, probably been over 10 years since it rained that hard here, at least. Rain is Earth's sage. Oh, I love it. Bring it on. Ricky Lynn, you are right. Love it. Bring it on. The Balkans, greetings. Mushishi from Serbia, the Balkans. What's up over there in the Balkans? I heard they had a cold front over there in the Balkans. It was like 15 or 20 degrees below average over there. Is that true? There's my moderator in the house. What's up, moderator? Chris Livesay, my favorite channel. I love you, man. Thank you. Well, we love you too. Thank you, Chris. Appreciate that. Sorry to be off topic. What's up, Andrea? We got all kinds of topics going on here, Andrea. I'm bouncing around trying to cover several things. No problem. No problem at all. If you guys have a question or want to talk about something, bring it on. What's up, homie? Good morning, Afghanistan. Really? Afghanistan in the house? It is morning time in Afghanistan, right? What's up, Graham? The internet is full of too much missing formation just now. That makes me more suspicious. I know, Graham, you're right. There's a lot of distractions out there. I'm just being honest. I don't watch the news. I haven't watched the news since 2020. I refuse. I won't do it. I won't do it. Mushishi, yes, from 9 to 30 Celsius, it went to 15 Celsius. That's right, 15 Celsius, that's what I read, 15 Celsius, that's right. Cold over there, right? For this time of year. What's up, Andrea? Just looking over here at the chat, guys. I keep the chat over here on a separate monitor. It just makes it easier to manage, that's all. ZZ from the UK, what's up, Florida? Lived in Florida for many years. Loved Florida. I lived right in the center of Florida, so I was like 40 minutes from each coast. I could go to Clearwater Beach or Cocoa Beach and be there in less than an hour. It's great. A little humid though, but other than that, I haven't been there for many years. But it was a cool place to be that close to the ocean, because I like the ocean. You know, I like the ocean water and all that. Love it. Now it's 7 Celsius and through the day, 15 Celsius. I saw that, Mushishi. It happened overnight. It did happen very, very quickly. Weird cold front, right? Who stopped the rain? Daytona Beach. What's up, Brett? Been to Daytona. Yes, sir. Happy Dragon. What's up, Happy Dragon? I think it's Avi Leb has lost his... Avi was talking about this comet 2 months ago, you know. And maybe he knows something we don't. You know, I'm sure he has access to some of the big boy toys that we don't have. But Avi's been saying since day one when they found Atlas that, you know, it wasn't behaving like a comet at the very beginning. And to be quite honest, it's still not. It doesn't have a tail, you know. It's got the green coma, but as close as it is to the sun, it doesn't have a tail. Where's the tail, man? Every comet has a tail, right? Usually up some degree. Iggy 6, I live in the middle of Florida near Ocala. I was south of Ocala about 30 minutes. Iggy 6, I miss Florida. I used to live in St. Petersburg. Yeah, St. Petersburg. Nice, very nice. Also from Atlantis. Thank you, Andrea. Cape Coral, been there. Who's from Cape Coral? Tim Wilson, what's up, Tim? Blessings from Quebec. Sorry if I missed some of you guys. I'm trying to stay caught up here. I live right in the middle. Okay, I saw that one. I missed Florida, lived there. Andrea, Atlantis. Aliens like the oceans. I love the oceans. I'm not an alien, but I love the oceans. I do. I love them. Love that ocean air, you know. Love it. All right. Ant lives in St. Pete. Right on. Now listen, guys, I'm just letting this LP play here that I put together for you guys. That's really, to be quite honest with you, all that I have for you today. I have some more information. In fact, I have something on my desktop that I'm going to share with you guys probably tomorrow or the next day. I have two things that I'm going to share with you guys that are very, very interesting. You'll see in the next video or two. But I didn't figure this video would get recommended, so I didn't give my best content. I'm saving it for another day. It doesn't even have 1,000 viewers, and it's not your fault. I'm glad all you guys are here, but it's just it's very obvious that the video doesn't get recommended. So if it doesn't get recommended, then that's just the way it goes. I'm not complaining about it. It is what it is. So we'll try it again another day. That's all. Atlas, hey, what's up, Graham? Atlas is from another galaxy. True. It's from another star system. Absolutely, it's true. So we have no idea what it's made of. Our experts are trying to explain it based on their understanding. And that's true. And Graham, this probably will resonate with you. It has a different molecular structure than what we're used to here. You know, if it is indeed from a different star, then that means that it marches to the beat of a different drummer, if you know what I mean. So maybe that explains why it's not marching like a typical comet, because it's not used to this type of solar wind. It's used to a different type of solar output, maybe a stronger star or a weaker star. You know, there are no two stars exactly alike. They're like people. There's no two people that have ever lived, currently living, or that will ever live that are exactly alike. Yeah, there's identical twins, but they're not exactly alike. And it's the same way in the heavens. There's no two stars that are exactly alike. So this comet, whatever it is, that's come from a different star, it's going to behave differently next to our sun compared to its parent star that it came from. So Harvard scientist, nah, he's being, you know, he's just speaking what's on his mind. He talked about Oumuamua when it came through the solar system in 2017. He was one of the first people to speak about the unusual shape of Oumuamua, and it certainly was. And then he was talking about Atlas and how, you know, it's an interstellar traveler. This has only happened 3 times in recorded history. So it's kind of a unique situation we're in right now. The solar system has a lot of comets going on right now, which isn't unusual in itself. And it's not unusual to have comets, but we have like 6, maybe 7, all coming in from different angles at the same time. You know, and the very fact that we have one that's from another star, it's just a bit mysterious. Is it a conspiracy? I don't think so. It's just kind of cool, man. That's all. It's just cool. It doesn't have to be a conspiracy. It doesn't have to be, you know, anything other than that. It's just freaking cool, you know. We need to be up there. That should be a priority. We should be up there somehow figuring out what this thing is made of. I guarantee you, if I had the power, that's what we'd be doing. That would be a priority. Yeah, not all this name calling and BS drama that's always going on. We'd be taking care of real business. That's what we would be doing. So it's what it is. Thank you, Trail Mix 01. You're very kind. And again, I want to thank Miss Debbie. That's very kind of you for sending those. I just got them. That P.O. box that you guys see in there, I check it like maybe once a month because there's usually not anything there. I'm just being honest with you. There's usually not anything there. So I was surprised when that was there. And it was a pleasant surprise. Thank you very much, Debbie. That was super, super kind. I appreciate that. All right, guys. Well, listen, I'm going to hop off here. As I'd mentioned at the beginning of the video, we have a new member of the family today. Her name is Sophia Ann. That's right. So you'll hear more about her in the next few days, but I've got to keep it short today because, again, today's a big day, right? All right. But listen, I want to thank all you guys for stopping by. Jennifer, Graham, I've seen people saying that Atlas came from the wow signal. It can't be unless it traveled faster than the speed of light. Very good, Graham. See, you didn't fall for the BS. You thought it through and you're like, okay, this thing can't move faster than the speed of light. Nothing can, right? So good man, good for you. You got that. I have people that, you know, tell me that, oh, my analysis of the solar activity right now is incorrect. I can assure you it's not. And I say that very humbly. I've been doing this for a long, long time. If I tell you there's something big coming towards the earth, there probably is. You know, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that the sun's going crazy when it's not. It's just not. It's not, guys. It's super quiet right now. So it's the way it is. And it's kind of unusual for solar maximum. But solar maximum, even in all of its spectacular drama, like we saw here, this is a moment from solar maximum. Things can get pretty dicey. But as you can see, even during this big time event here, and this was a very large solar flare. This is from the Halloween storms of 2003. The instrument survived. It's still working to this very day. And as you can see, it was overwhelmed with energy from the sun. Now that's some solar activity. And that is an active sun. That's an active sun. This stuff here, you're talking powder puffs. That's powder puff activity, man. Come on. Get real. Well, listen, guys. Too many clouds. I know, Graham, it's been cloudy here. Today, though, it's a bright, sunshiny day, and it's not too hot. It's like in the lower 80s. So glad to get out of the hundreds. And anybody else that lives in Arizona will tell you the same exact thing. Those hundreds, after a while, you don't even want to go outside. It's nice to be able to go outside and go for a walk in the evening, you know. Yeah, glad those hundreds are gone. All right, guys, listen, I'm going to hop off here. Thanks for watching. Have a super day. And as always, be safe out there.